Hey everybody, welcome back to This Week in Marketing Show, also known as the Tweam Show. I'm your host Sajid Islam, and today I'll be going over the notable news, updates, and analysis in the digital marketing space from the week of October 19, 2020. Today we are going to first start off with Instagram. Instagram plans to crack down on rule-breaking influencers and introduces new options, including IGTV ads. So let me break it down in terms of what that all means. First of all, there was a research done in the United Kingdom, and where they found out that a lot of influencers were breaking the rules of Instagram, and by not disclosing that they were paid post, Instagram, aka Facebook, saw that report and they said they are going to start cracking down hard on people who are doing that. So if you are someone who is getting paid to promote a product, make sure you are, you know, uh, mentioning that in your Instagram, along with, even if you're not getting the money, if you're paying someone, make sure you do that, because the last thing you want to do is get banned or get kicked out of the platform. And this also highlights, what's at stake for the platform itself. They don't want up they want the platform to be a safe zone for individuals to conduct business, check things, and not be able to always suspect things like, oh, is this paid or is this not paid, and things like that. Okay, moving on. So the other options Instagram introduces are, number one is monetization option in for live videos as well as IGTV ads. Again, the platform itself wants to stay relevant. They are trying very hard to not only allow options for more creators, and we've seen this. If you're following this show, you've seen this more and more. This is coming up ever since the pandemic came across, and all the platforms are doing it, whether it's Google, Instagram, TikTok, things like that. They're creating avenues for not only creators to create, but also giving creators an incentive to create on the platform. Now that the competition is really heating up between TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Snapchat, Pinterest, someone's like, everyone's gonna make money. And IGTV ads, there's that basically means it's more inventory for anyone who's advertising. So that's a great angle for there itself. Now the other thing that really came out cool, and actually I've been seeing it on Instagram and I didn't realize what it was until it came out. It's like, now we can do product tags for ads in preparation for holiday season, right? So oftentimes I've seen that, I would see a photo and there would be this button on that photo, like I wouldn't say a button, but a dot. And if I click on it, I could see the product and the price. And clicking on that, it took me directly to the product page. Sometimes it's on Instagram shop, or sometimes it would be the products brands product shop, which is on non Facebook Instagram platform. What Instagram is saying is now we could run ads on Instagram, and we could actually do that using the same format. So say if someone is like, say I'm selling t-shirts, and and running an ad, I could actually have someone who is interested in the thing, they could actually click on it and see the price and then click on it and actually buy on Instagram itself, or go off to the website and complete the transaction. This itself, I believe, is very powerful in terms of how this is going to all work out. And actually, I gotta give it to Facebook slash Instagram for actually coming up with this option. With that, let's move on to the next update. Next update, again, we just covered about Instagram cracking down on people who are promoting, you know sponsored promoting products without mentioning that this is a sponsored product, or someone is getting paid, either I'm getting paid to promote this product. Similarly, Facebook is cracking down on fake engagement peddlers. And in fact, actually, even though it says Facebook, it's actually for four businesses that got sued by Facebook this week. And when I read, I think two of them were directly promoting inauthentic likes and engagement for new brands on Instagram. One was called Instagram or Gram Boost or something like that. I don't remember the name exactly, because I think that's beyond the point. Why I'm covering this again, folks, is that Facebook is under a lot of pressure, and Facebook wants to make sure it keeps its platform clean, and it will do that. It's a multi-billion dollar business, so they are going to go to any maybe more trillion-dollar business, right? If we aggregate all the income that are they're going to get in the future as well. So they are not going to risk it just because you are doing something shady, and they have the firepower, they have the willpower, they have the deep pocket. Stay away from that, from all the shady things you do or hiring things, because all it will do is give you a quick win, a cheap win, and get you a lot of pain down the road, whether you're buying it or whether you're selling engagement. Either way, you're going to be regretting it. So stay away from it, folks. It's not worth it. Okay, next up we have updates on Facebook again, but more on the WhatsApp angle. Basically, what Facebook slash WhatsApp say that because they have more than 2 billion active users, and they keep in touch with all these things. 175 million people use it for business purpose on WhatsApp business account. What they're doing is they're launching up 3 products. Number one, shopping, payments, customer service on WhatsApp. And you may not have seen this, but I have seen or experienced this when I was in China a few years ago. But this is like taking a page out of the WeChat app. If you know this Chinese app, which we may not know because we usually don't use it in the US, but it's very popular in China. And what they do is through WeChat, it's like a one super app. You can do a lot of things. Now, Facebook wants to monetize WhatsApp because WhatsApp has been free for the longest time. So they're creating a lot of stuff around in the WhatsApp ecosystem for business accounts. In and all, I will tell you, it's still at its very infancy, but what it is doing is they're playing it towards this thing called conversational commerce, where me, if I'm interested in a business, I could message them on WhatsApp, and I can actually look at the options. They can send me. It's like interacting with a salesperson, but through WhatsApp. That's how I would put it, and I could even complete the transaction on WhatsApp. And one thing Facebook also mentioned here is that they are creating a hosting solution for businesses. Now that's interesting, right? They haven't mentioned a whole lot of it. They just touched on it a little bit. So what, again, from my standpoint, what I feel and what they're doing is they are creating an ecosystem for businesses, because Facebook is realizing, and they're going to charge for WhatsApp business as well. So they're realizing they can only go so far through ad revenue, right? They need to create, and that's the bread and butter, which is great. Google's bread and butter up until one point was only ad revenue. Then they diversified. They have cloud offering, they have email services, business solutions, things like that. And Facebook is actually doing that slowly as well. So don't be surprised. I mean, that they're doing this. They're creating business solutions. They're creating hosting solutions. They're doing payments and things like that. So, folks, it's something to know. I mean, I know people who are listening to this show, they're probably more in the marketing angle. So from the marketing angle, this is good. If this is a paid option that's coming through Facebook, it's targeting small businesses primarily, but it could be businesses of any size. What matters is that, if you're a business and if you have the power, definitely go get into the WhatsApp business accounts and just interact with people who would not otherwise be interacting with you. With that, let's go to the next one. And I do not know what it is. I mean, we are on TikTok again. TikTok is now starts to label misleading content, and and will also notify users when their videos are taken down. But it seems like there's a general theme going on in the US or with all social media with the election around, that it's just like people are all the platforms are really like labeling things and whatnot. But I've seen the video, the demo of misleading content. I think that's good. It's a step direction in the right. It's a step in the right direction. Absolutely right. What I want to talk to you about today, or dig a little bit deeper, is TikTok will notify users when videos are taken down. What TikTok moderators have seen is like someone posts a video that goes against the community rule, it gets taken down, they get upset, they do not know why it was getting down, it was all in the dark. They're gonna go create another video that has the same issue. Again, it goes up, again it gets down, and that's where creators are getting pissed off. And TikTok being TikTok, which is like again under a lot of pressure, and they want to do the things right and not be like Facebook, who still after like all these years, like after 10 plus years, they still remove content without telling what it is. They just give you a vague idea. TikTok realized, what? When we take it out, we're going to tell you why we took it out, so that you don't repeat the same mistake, because they don't want to kick off users. they want to keep their creators, they keep users as much as possible. And obviously, if you're violating it, that's a different thing. But that's a step in the right direction as well for TikTok. Plus bonus points for TikTok for doing this the right way. Thank you, TikTok. I didn't think I would ever say thank you to you guys, but it's actually good. Um, let's move on to the next one, which is again on TikTok, but it is actually a little bit touching on that. Earlier in our show, we covered like, TikTok was banned in Pakistan when we were talking about getting TikTok getting banned in the US, which is the case is still pending in the court, in the US courts. But that's a good news. I mean, getting unbanned in Pakistan because TikTok has about 20 million monthly active users in Pakistan. So definitely it was hitting their revenues in some way, shape, and form. So that's good. What I really want to touch on again on this second part of the thing is like, I realized, there are people who are creating meaningful content on TikTok, right? And I found this list of 9 amazing TikTokers who are creating educational content, and one of the person actually is teaching a lot about um, financial investment, stock market. There's a guy who goes by the name of Hank Green One, and he already had a YouTube account. He had a large YouTube audience, but he decided to launch his TikTok account towards a younger generation, and his main theme is around chemistry. Right? I watched a few of these, videos, and he comes across as someone who's very passionate about what he's doing. But and also people are also seeing a lot of saying thank you to him because of him. They're graduating. But where this is all going is like if you had written off TikTok saying, oh, this is a very fun, fancy platform, then I think we're wrong. And I probably touched on it in the last show or the show before last show where I said, we at Market and Grow, we are going to plan to release our program on TikTok. That's a plan we are working on. It's just like, we are a small venture, so it takes time for us to do it, but we are getting there as well because I think there is substance in there. And, usually being early on the platform has its advantages, so we should go. With that, let's move on to the next one. We are on to Twitter. Quick update to Twitter. And Twitter basically updated their ad manager. And what they're doing is they're taking again a page out of Google's ad manager where in Google, if you're creating ads, you could actually see in real time how your ad is going to look like on the user end. Right? Again, Facebook also has that. So I guess Facebook copied it from Google. Now Twitter is like, we're gonna do that. Well, why am I covering this in this show is because Twitter is making easier and efficient for us to create ads on Twitter Ads Manager, which basically means they are investing on the platform, which basically also means that this is something a worthwhile platform. In fact, Twitter, I think it's a worthwhile platform. I mean, they do have 3 different ads categories, but not going a little bit too deeper into the stuff. It's just like it's a good platform. Stay on it. Okay, moving on. Next, we have Google Shopping, where Google is telling us they're going to help us to find the best deal. And how are they going to do that? Well, what they're going to do, first of all, the Google Shopping was a game changer, right? They wanted to, I think they launched it in the summer right after the pandemic came around. They realized that, people are searching for products and they actually come to Google for search. So why not being the hub of all the shopping things? And now what they're realizing is like, people are often getting fleeced by bad sellers, and Google wants to put a stop to it. Now Google is now rolling out a price insights tool. These insights are going to use data mined from a lot of different online shops and outlets so that you can be told whether the price you are being offered is low or high. It's like, if you go to bing.com and check for flight tickets, at least it used to be, I do not know what happened during the pandemic, it used to tell me, give me some, like if I wanted to go from Washington DC to Vegas, it would say, what, given the historical trend, prices are supposed to go up, prices are supposed to go down, or maybe it's the best time to go buy. It would just give me an added confidence. Now, this is not like buying a plane ticket. This is more about buying, say, a computer, buying a monitor, buying something. But Google has the data, right? So it's a step in the right direction. at the same time, I think it's just going to be putting a lot of pressure on the small shops unless they figure out a way to create bundles, value bundles, and really set themselves apart so that when now Google's AI cannot really tell them whether it's a good deal or a bad deal. But anyway, I'll leave that on to you. But the thing, good news is, as a buyer, as a shopper, we have this thing rolling out of Google, and we would be able to leverage that. Now, moving on, while still on the Google landscape, is like, obviously you probably have heard, or if not, I will just tell you, is like the US government is planning or has filed an antitrust lawsuit against Google, saying, they have massive market share, search market share, and they're, basically putting all the smaller players out of market. Again, we will let the federal government, the court system figure it out. It's going to be a very lengthy and interesting battle just because both sides have deep pockets. Of course, I think the US government has unlimited money and resources. So does Google. So it's just going to be like who's going to win. Usually the federal government doesn't file a lawsuit against an entity or a person, especially in high profile case, unless they know for sure they're going to win. Right, that's a US government's probably usually has been like, hey, if we're going to sue someone, and someone the size of Google, $1 trillion company, we got to make sure we are winning, because if not, we're going to go through the court, and if we lose, it's just going to create a bad precedent. So I would be like, they know for sure they can actually create something. But what this basically means an opportunity for us, right? Now that Google is under a lot of pressure, they're testing out this thing called transparency on the search results. So like, they're creating this, they're saying, we would be able to see these three dots, and we could say about the search result, and then they're going to be through that we can see, it will give us essentially more information about websites so that we can be sure whether they're legitimate, and also know where when this search was indexed. It's something similar to what Facebook does when you see a Facebook ad on their platform, say about this ad, and tells you who this ad is targeting, things like that. It doesn't give you a whole lot, but it's just something, I think, an olive branch extending out to the regulators, to the court system, to say, hey, we are trying. But we'll let it play out. For now, the thing is that there is some transparency in the search results, and we'll go and take it from there. With that, the last update from Google here is that Google has shared some updates in the changing shopping behaviors. And one thing that really comes out after reviewing this report is that, they're saying, this shopping season is expected to be longer than usual this year. According to Google, 62% of American shoppers are considering starting the holiday shopping earlier this year so that they don't miss out on the stuff and get to avoid large crowds. And also there are reports coming out that people have to shop and order online if they want things to be arriving on time for Christmas, just because of all the things that are happening due to COVID, right? So it's actually a good place, good time frame for people in the e-commerce industry, for sellers, just because things are going to really heat up. It's going to be very fun. So what I want to tell you is, focus on creating deals and start your holiday shopping campaigns early on. Do not wait for Black Friday, because by Black Friday it's going to be too late. Start early. People are already shopping, and you don't want to lose customers because you decided to launch your promotions and offer late. Also, one thing Google said, it's crucial for brands to test their site's interface and user experience beforehand, so that online shoppers get to do their holiday shopping without any inconvenience. And Google keeps on touching on that. Just basically means that it is actually a very important area for Google. So please make sure you have a very fast, user-friendly website. And the last thing Google said, that the searches revealed that they have available near me searches have increased by more than 100% in the next 12 months, in the last 12 months. And while searches for curbside pickup have witnessed, more than 3,000% increase worldwide, folks. So what this basically means is that if you are local, right, you want to tap into these keywords. That's what it is saying. It's telling you, if you offer curbside pickup, make sure you do that. You mention that so that you show up organically, or probably pay for paid search ad campaigns and show up as curbside pickup and available near me, because that's what's going to happen. And it seems like people are going to support local businesses. So that's all for here. Take care on this point, and you'll be glad you did. Let's move on to the next one, which is our updates to the LinkedIn platforms. Three quick updates. Number one is LinkedIn mobile app launch stories. Like I covered it in in the previous shows as well. It's like these platforms are copying each other. I mean, I do not know what's the plus of having stories on a LinkedIn mobile app, but I will leave it as there, right? But LinkedIn is also testing, or actually is already there, direct messaging. During direct messaging, we can do video chats through, I believe, Blue Jeans, Microsoft Teams, and I forgot the name of the third platform. But now what it is doing is, I saw the demo from LinkedIn, is I could message you. We can say, hey, let's talk, let's do a video chat, and we don't have to go off of the LinkedIn platform. We could actually schedule a call right on that platform, put the date and a calendar, and put the conferencing information, and just be on that platform. What this is a great step for LinkedIn to keep people more on their platform without having to, because in the past what I've seen, we chatted with each other on LinkedIn DMs and then said, let's do a call. And then I would send them an email with an invite, and we would be off of that platform. So this is a good thing for LinkedIn. The third thing they have done is they have updated events and added new video feature there as well, right? And the purpose of this updating the event is, like, now they're saying you can use that to grow your attendees, collect leads from event signups, promote your event with sponsored content, and retarget your event attendees. Again, and what LinkedIn is also saying is, there in the coming days, in the coming months, they're going to include advanced event analytics, new events ad formats, attendee networking options that help capture the magic of in-person events. Where LinkedIn is going, it's actually taking a little bit a different approach in the event space and really going after Facebook events, right? Because Facebook event has been dominating, but at the same time, Facebook events has not really been that effective, just because it's too much noise. One thing I liked about grow your attendees option for LinkedIn events is that now they're creating a discovery option where I can discover events that are tailored to my taste. I shouldn't say taste, but they're tailored to my interests, as well as events that are probably near me. So those are good things from LinkedIn. Stay tuned. Again, LinkedIn is a platform you should probably look into now before it's too late, and you'll be glad you did. I mean, if you are on Facebook and you're trying to find a newer, greener pastures, LinkedIn is probably the place you should want to go into right now. Okay, last update of our this week is a quick dive into Snapchat's Q3 2020's earnings. Again, this is not a financial, stock investing show, so we're not going to get into that. But why I'm covering here is that there are a lot of interesting data points that are coming out of this report, their earnings report. One thing is, they have managed to add 11 million more daily active users. Now, that's a phenomenal growth for Snapchat during the pandemic. And now there are about 249 million daily active users, an increase of 39 million users. So that's like an 18% year-over-year growth. Now, why am I sharing you all these numbers is because, just to put things into perspective, Twitter has about 186 million daily active users. So now Snapchat, while it doesn't get talked about a lot, it's actually a bigger platform than Twitter. But Twitter, we all know, because of all the things that are happening, especially President Trump talking on Twitter and doing all the things. Now, Snapchat continues to become a destination as a discover platform for Gen Z. And for Gen Zers, this is essentially people who are born between 1997 and 2012, and there are about 68 million Gen Zers in the US. Of that, Snapchat is saying about more than 40% of that Gen Z population is using Snapchats to watch, find, or discover sports content. This is great. Why? Is because, folks, if you have a product, or if you are marketing towards anyone between the age of 8 to 23, that's the platform for you to target. In addition to Facebook, in addition to everything else, right? Instagram, that's given. Maybe this is where you want to look into. You are thinking of, hey, Facebook's great, but Facebook is unreliable because my accounts get shut down, my accounts get banned, my ads get flagged for no reason, I don't get anything else, I'm frustrated, I need something else. Folks, here it is: Snapchat, Twitter, or sorry, TikTok. Right? These are the two platforms. Test it out. You need to find greener pastures, or else what's the option? You're gonna give up your business? I don't think so. So the other thing is, like, Snapchat is doing is they're doing, originals with Kevin Hart. This is an unscripted series they're calling Coach Kev. Why am I sharing this? Because I watched the first one. It seems pretty good. Very motivational, inspiring Snapchatters to live the best lives through the burst of inspiration, positivity, and wisdom. Again, what Snapchat is trying to do is trying to solve a problem that pretty much no one else is seeming to solve, which is, here we have age 8 through 23. Let's bring them to Snapchat. Let's stay them. Let's give them dose of inspiration. Let's keep them on the same, because someday they're gonna grow up. Someday they're gonna go into something else. And if they grow up with this platform, they are going to stay on this platform. So that's the I think the MO that Snapchat has. Um, so overall, Snapchat used to be a platform where, this was all about, sending text that would disappear, and that has really pivoted nicely into something else. We have seen Snapchat's, features like stories got copied over, and now LinkedIn even has Snapchat LinkedIn stories. So, and that's something, I think Snapchat has been able to really mitigate that, and build something different, while everyone else seems to be copying each other. With that, let's move on to the last one. Already, folks, that's it for this week in marketing. Now you know everything you need to be in the know. If you'd like to read more, make sure you visit our show page where you will find the links to the articles. And if you enjoyed this episode of This Week in Marketing, please make sure you give us a thumbs up and follow us on our social media pages. Once again, this is your host, Sajid Islam, signing off until next week. Au revoir.